Joe from what I'm playing now. And this is Eliot.
Hello.
We are going to be doing a stream today of the CIA collection deck. So hopefully we can see chat behind us. Hey, Adam. Or Johnny. That's probably Johnny. Yep. Oh, he's watching on YouTube. So YouTube chat. Oh, Molly, Kim's watching on Twitch.
Phenomenal.
So we know Twitch. And hey, Kimmy, if you get a chance, maybe check Facebook. I think I got Facebook working. It took us a few seconds. But, oh, and the chat's also working, Kim. So you can see the chat on the TV. I saw Johnny post and you post up on the TV behind me. The only thing is I have to keep turning my neck to see this. So
I can see it great.
Yes. Yeah. So you're going to be able to see it when we're doing this. I'm just not going to be able to. So that will be very interesting when we attempt to do that. Thanks, Kimmy. Appreciate it. All right. So we're going to be playing. We'll switch over to the board real quick. Dun, 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 dun. No, we can't see that. There we go.
That works.
The CIA collection deck.
So this is a game that actually the CIA designed. They created it internally.
And the funny thing is, when you had mentioned that you were going to print this out,
yeah,
one of the guys at work had actually mentioned, he goes, have you heard about the CIA card game and everything? And I was like, and it was like 2 weeks, like a week or so before. I'm like, what are you talking about? No, I hadn't heard about it. So, and then you were pinging me like, I'm printing this out. We need to do a video. I'm like, I'm freaking down with that. That sounds great. Oh, Kimmy said Facebook is good too.
Phenomenal.
We are streaming to all three.
Phenomenal. 3-in-1.
We got it. Hat trick.
This is awesome. This is awesome. Yeah, so actually I heard about this game from Ars Technica. They had They had published an article about a year ago saying that the CIA had come to South by Southwest, I think, and had demoed this game. And then someone filed a Freedom of Information request. Okay. And here we are a year later. That Freedom of Information request was processed. There's a whole bunch of documents that are open, available online that you can go and look at. Okay. Basically a bunch of PDFs. And that is the source material that we use to create this game.
So it's almost like an open source project, computer-wise. And what you kind of did was took that, turned it into your vision of this.
Yeah.
Because so when people do this, there isn't really, is there a set game they can just print out, or did you have to actually manipulate anything?
I mean,
or change anything?
we definitely had to make some changes. So the PDFs that they sent out, they were in like the usual print and play form. Like you could cut out cards and stuff. Okay. But these PDFs, they were essentially looked like faxes of scans of faxes. So we're talking really low resolution, stuff redacted all over the place. So while it may be playable, it wouldn't be enjoyable, so to say.
That's funny.
So I basically took a weekend or two and went through and rebuilt all of the cards. All right. Some of the redacted cards, we ended up just filling that stuff in with information we found on, Wikipedia and stuff like this. So we filled in kind of things that were missing.
Right.
And then here we go. We went to the Game Crafter. They printed us out all these nice cards and a box to go with it.
The cards look awesome. I mean, the cards are a really nice stock and everything. A really nice feel to them. We even got a little game overview cheat sheet over there.
Yeah, so this is something we added. We actually realized that it was hard to tell. We like knowing who the start player is going to be during a game. And so since we just had a game with a bunch of cards, I figured, well, let's make a little thing for the start player. So right now the start player is whoever gets the little spy.
Nice.
There's a little spy on the back,
that
right?
That is a nice little thing there.
So here I got 2 cards. We can shuffle those up somehow.
Put them under the table. I don't know which one's which.
And I'll choose, and then whoever gets that spy. Oh, you're the start player.
All right, I am the start player. Okay, so I have never played this before. How many times have you played this?
I would say maybe about 5.
Okay.
The first 1 or 2 times we were playing with very much a more original kind of the original graphics that the CIA had used on their cards, and so it was a little bit harder to tell where everything was because they hadn't designed it with kind of like an ease of use going on, right? So some of the things that we added to the cards, we basically added some little icons in the top left corner.
We can show you these icons up here. So what Eliot's talking about is he's talking about the H and the I that are up here?
Yeah, so basically the H icon means that's a card that's going to help you. The I icon is a card that is going to be able to collect information, hence information, I for information. that type of thing. So we added those in. We also did a revamp on the back of the cards that are the challenge cards.
Okay.
So basically the way that this game is going to work is we are attempting to collect information on a number of different challenges that are happening throughout the world. So some of the changes that we did on the back of the card is initially this whole back of the card was actually in white, and it was really hard to, basically all of the cards were white, so it was just like white all over the board. And we were like, let's clean this up a little bit. So we put it in black instead, and we put the number of point values for the cards as well. So you can just kind of like put this there, and you can be like, oh, hey, yeah, I have 4 points. It's easy to tell now, and since that's upside down, right, you know that it's not an active kind of challenge. Okay. So let me get started here.
Slide that off to the side.
Yeah, slide that off to the side. So the setup for this game is basically we put 10 of these challenge cards. How are we going to do this?
How about if we zoom out just a little bit so we can see a little bit more of the board there?
So we're going to put 10 of these challenge cards out. I suppose we could just do 5 for now.
Probably need to go down just a little bit.
Down a little bit? Sounds good.
There we go. So they're out of the window.
Yeah, so
they're going to be in between the two windows now, hopefully.
So initially you'd start with 10 challenge cards. We're just putting out 5 for now. And then each player is going to get 7 cards out of the main draw deck here. So I will deal those out. 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7.
Oh no, I didn't want to do that. Okay, there we go.
And what's happening here is we are, in this game, you're playing as a intelligence collection agent, I guess you could say. You are tasked with collecting information on one of these projects that's out here. So we have everything from North Korea missile testing, Russian cryptocurrency program, China fentanyl network, what is this? China-Taiwan posturing, and Chelyabinsk asteroid incident.
Okay.
Awesome. So these are not kind of problems that you're going to solve. These are just problems that you need to gather information on.
All right.
The amount of information that you need to gather is indicated by the eyes here. So this one eye in the card means that you need to have basically one information gathering technique and apply it to this.
All right.
Whereas this China fentanyl network, that requires 3 information gathering techniques. So the techniques have that eye in the top corner of the card again.
Gotcha.
So that way you will know when it's your turn, oh, I need to use a certain number of my technique cards and apply it to a problem of my choice.
All right.
Now, the way that you can tell if you can successfully apply a technique to a problem is you have to look at a couple different things. So, for example, this is a wire services card. So saying services like AP and Reuters can provide timely reporting. So this card has a number of different symbols on the bottom, and our challenge card also has a number of different symbols. The first thing that you have to do to make sure that you can, say, successfully apply the wire services to this Chelyabinsk asteroid challenge is you have to make sure at least one of the icons in the challenge itself matches one of the icons from the technique you're playing.
All right.
So right now we basically have 4 different types of icons. We have political icon, we have industry, military, or weapon.
Okay.
So I don't know if you want to...
Let me show those real quick.
Yeah, so those are the 4 basic ones.
So we have, the first one was... Political.
And then there's industry.
Military.
And weapon. So one of those icons needs to be the same as the icon for the problem you're applying to. So in this case, our asteroid incident has a political and an industry.
All right.
And we actually have all 4 here, so this will be fine. We would only need actually 1, like if this card just said political, that would be fine, we could play it.
Okay.
The second thing that you need to look at is the difficulty of the challenge. So this particular challenge has a difficulty of 4.
Okay. I'm going to show that real quick.
Sure.
So the difficulty is down here in this lower corner, difficulty of 4.
And then we have the range on wire services is 1 through 7.
Okay.
Which encompasses 4, right? 4 is between 1 through 7, at least the last time I looked. So that means I could basically on my...
Hey, everybody watching on Facebook, thank you.
So what this means is applying this wire services technique. I could say, okay, I want to use wire services to find information about this Chelyabinsk asteroid incident. Okay. And actually, that's how a lot of us found out about this particular incident, because it was all over the news. And so that is a valid technique.
Okay.
Now, once I play a certain number of technique cards against this particular challenge, everyone else that's playing has the opportunity to essentially screw my technique up. To kind of I call it like you're acting like the world that hates me.
Gotcha.
Right?
Okay.
So you may have a couple cards in your hand that have a stop symbol next to them.
Yep. And I'm guessing would that be this?
Yes, now this one is actually a help and hurt card. So look for like this denial and deception is probably a good one.
So the stop icon that Eliot is actually talking about is this little hand symbol that's up here on one of the cards that I actually had in my deck, or in my hand.
Yes, so this card, it says Denial and Deception, and it allows you to counter a non-mass int collection technique. Okay. Now, we put icons, we added all of these icons because we realized it was hard to tell which cards were applying to which. Right. So that's actually an addition that we did. So basically, in this case, you just have to make sure that one of these 4 icons on here
and I'm guessing this W matches yours.
Exactly.
Very easy iconography, I will say. That is outstanding the way you have made that.
We try to be
much
organized.
Easier. Yes. Yeah.
So the way that you would play this is you would go ahead and lay that on top of my wire services, and you would say, "Hey, look, the wire services, that was just that was false information. That was false information."
Okay.
At this point, I can either attempt to counter your counter, so to say. Like I could have perhaps a think outside the box card. I could play that on that. I know you have one of those, so
I'll slide you that real quick so we can show how this goes.
I could play. I'm thinking about this outside the box. You know, they're denying that this ever happened, but actually we managed to find some footage or something. The other way that I could possibly keep going to complete this particular mission is I could look through my hand and find another technique that I could play towards this. So, commercial multispectral imagery. Again, we have to make sure
what are the iconography matches?
The iconography matches. So
now,
political.
So I'm guessing you can use political. Since you use political here, you can use political.
Oh yeah,
again?
absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I didn't know if there was. Maybe since political was used, maybe you have to use a different one.
Nope.
That might make it a little interesting.
Nope. Yeah. So essentially, if I don't counter this group, these are burned, right?
Okay.
So that basically goes in the discard. We don't have to worry about that anymore. And then I'm basically using another technique that I played from my hand, and I'm playing that against the same challenge. Now we would go around again, and everyone at the table would have a chance to counter this technique. Okay. And this keeps on going until the collective group has had the chance to play at least 3 cards against me.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So you played 1.
Right.
So if you had 2 more in your hand, you could potentially counter this again, and then I could try again, and then you could counter it again. After everyone plays up to 3 cards, then if I successfully, like let's say I played that one and you countered it and that one got burned, after everyone successfully plays 3 cards and I still have a card laying out there, actually that one won't work. That's a perfect example of what will not work.
There we go.
So here we have political industry, but this card only applies to military weapon.
Yep.
So that would not be a valid card. This one will work though. Listening posts. So assuming that I have my 1 technique card, because this requires 1 technique, assuming that's still standing by the end of the round, then I would get this point. So this would be 1 point for me.
Okay.
I could put that over here next to me, and then this would go in the discard.
Yeah,
and then we would go to you. Now, the way that the round works is you only get to draw up to 7 cards at the end of the round.
Okay.
And the group out here only refreshes at the end of the round.
Okay, so it never refreshes. So when people are taking cards from here, it's going on the table.
Yeah.
This game plays 2 to 6 as well. So I could see that. Does this number change out here as more players increase?
Actually,
as your
no.
player count increases? It's always the same.
They basically always said put out 10 cards.
Okay.
So with 10 cards, you'd have a little bit more variety here. When we're just playing with 5, it's pretty limited, right? But you can see essentially if I went for the 3s and I successfully completed a 3 challenge, that's 3 points for me. Oh, and by the way, that you only have one other 3 card to choose from. So essentially is limiting your options as you go further on. One of the other things that can happen is, let's say you successfully, let's say I'm going for this fentanyl network and I play, let's say I play 3 techniques. Hopefully these match. Nope, that one doesn't. There we go. Let's say I play 3 techniques for the fentanyl network and you cancel out 1. And I don't have any other cards to play. At this point. So we've had 2 pieces of information that were gathered, but this challenge requires 3. So what would happen is these 2 cards would go underneath, and now this challenge, that goes back in the deck. That goes back in our pile here.
And you only need 1 more piece of information?
Yeah, now you could try that one.
And I would just need 1.
And you would just need 1.
Interesting, okay.
You just need 1.
All right. It doesn't sound like that difficult of a game.
No, it is.
But it seems like there's a lot of, I don't want to say take that, but it seems like there could be a lot, when you get a group of 6 people playing, there could be a lot of table smacking going around.
There could. There could.
Which Kim and I are fine with when we play. We love attacking each other. Well, she loves killing me and everything and winning, so.
Excellent. So shall we have a round?
Yeah, let's try to do a round of this and see how this goes. What signifies end of the game?
That is a fantastic question. So if you look in the original rules that the CIA published, they basically said, play until you don't want to play anymore. I suggest...
Interesting.
Yes, that is one way to do it. One of the other ways you can do it is basically just say, at the start of the game, look, we're going to go for this many rounds.
Okay.
So for a 2-person game, you're going to be able to go through rounds pretty fast.
Right. And so you played maybe 20. Is 20 points too much? Is that too?
For a 2-person game, that might not be too much.
Okay.
For something like a 6-person game, you're probably going to want to play maybe 2 or 3 rounds. So that's completely around the table, 2 or 3 rounds.
That sounds like because I have a feeling having to do that many cards is going to get to be It's going to get to be kind of interesting, especially with a higher player count.
Absolutely, yeah, and it goes slower. Right. As you have more players. So let me just toss that guy over there, and we'll get out another one. All right, and you are the start player, sir.
I am the start player, so let me organize my cards here, so I can kind of see what we can do. I think I have a gist of what we're doing here. All right.
And again, my goal here is to frustrate you as much as possible.
Right. So let's...
So we have 2 challenges that require 3 collection techniques. We have 2 challenges that only require 1 collection technique.
We have 1 that requires a 2.
And 1 that requires 2.
So I'm going to try to go for the 2.
Okay.
It's an 8 difficulty. I have chemical and nuclear material surveys.
Excellent.
Massent technique. Historic hyperspectral imaging of various terrain features can be combined with new images to detect buried objects. Can only target nuclear or chemical problems. We have the weapon matching. I have a range of 4 to 8, difficulty of 8.
Excellent.
So that is 1. Now,
that's 1 out of 2.
Do I play a second one before you go?
You play a second one.
All right. So then we're going to try to do a technical journal exploration. This is an OSINT. Exploitation.
Yep.
This is an OSINT technique. So what's Massent, OSINT?
So if you look on Wikipedia, they have better explanations for this. But basically, Massent, I think, is measurement and signals intelligence. OSINT is open source int.
Okay, I'm very impressed that you're able to rattle that off.
Yes.
That's
so essentially, and that's why we have like essentially what is the Wikipedia icon for OS int. It's open source int. Well, what's the definition of open source int? Right. Go find it on Wikipedia.
So this is research and development efforts are often published in technical journals. So again, this is another 4 to 8. We match the military.
Yep.
So I have those two right there.
Excellent. So I'm actually going to spread this out so I can see the icons over there. All right, so now it's my job to frustrate you here. What can we do? I have some bad news for you. This North Korea nuclear warhead, it's a really hard target. So what this card does is it says it increases the difficulty of the problem by 1.
Okay.
So while it says that the difficulty here is 8.
Oh, it's a 9.
Yes.
And both of these are basically
negated.
Now
it's a 9. So you may have a card in your hand that extends the range of these techniques.
Okay.
It might make it like 3 to 9. You may have a card that does that.
So is there any way I can counter this?
Only if you have a let's see, what do you have in your hand? So you want to look at your helping cards.
All right. Counter any other reality check. Oh, so I can think outside the box to counter this reality check.
Absolutely. So you're thinking outside the box. You've figured out some way to get around the fact that they are a really hard target. That is completely valid. So now it's back to me. And you know what? I'm going to let that stand.
All right.
I'm not going to give you any more challenges. So that means this goes away.
This would come over to me.
That comes over to you. That's your 2 points.
Okay.
And these go over into the recycling bin.
Gotcha.
So to say. And now it's over to me.
All right. Not a bad first round. 2 points. I'll take it.
2 points.
We'll take the 2 points.
Okay.
I keep trying to turn around to watch chat because the TV's behind me, so I'm going to need to rearrange this room so I can actually see chat as well.
Yeah, you just have to move it into that corner. That'll work.
Well, what I might have to do is maybe throw the laptop over there, put the TV over there so Kim can see that, and then I can see the laptop looking over that way. So, Kim, we may have to work on rearranging this a little bit when we do this, but I think I might have a couple of ideas.
Excellent. So, I think what I'm going to go for is...
Paul, are you under the table? Oh, yeah, yes. Okay.
Is this Russian cryptocurrency program here.
All right.
And the way that I'm going to learn about what they're doing over there is I'm going to use voice interception. So we're going to try to intercept some phone calls.
Okay.
To see what's going on in this Russian cryptocurrency program.
All right. And I do not think I am going to be able to stop a SIGINT technique. So I think I will let that one go.
Excellent.
Since it's just a 1-pointer.
So I will take that. And that is the end of the round.
Okay.
So at this point, we would refill our challenges here.
All right.
Remember, we just have 5 challenges when the regular game would have 10.
Okay.
And now
we're playing the beginner version.
Yeah,
we're playing the tutorial version.
This is the tutorial version. So now I have some cards left over in my hand.
Right.
We each get to draw up to 7, but first you can choose to discard.
Okay.
So you can discard as many as you want, and then you can draw up to 7.
I'm going to keep mine because I kind of like what I have, so I will just take an additional 3.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and discard 1 card.
Okay.
So that means you get 3, and I will get 4. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you.
2, 3.
This is kind of interesting. I kind of like this. This is neat.
Yeah, and so a lot of this game could potentially be storyline as well. So there are particular rules for you must explain every single technique and how it's applicable.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So you can't just say, oh, I'm going to use what this card? Oh, voice interception. Oh yeah, I'm just going to use voice interception on my North Korean missile crisis. You have to explain. So how are you going to intercept those phone calls since North Korea is what it is?
We're going to wiretap.
Exactly. So how are you going to get in there to wiretap that? Right?
Interesting. Okay. So
you
can turn it into more of like a storytelling game as well.
Yes.
Besides just, I don't want to say a combat style game, but
That is correct. So actually, you went first last turn.
So
the leadership
transfers over to you.
Passes to me, and now I get a chance to pick out one first. Let's see what we have.
If Kimmy is still watching, Kimmy, all the chats are showing up on the TV. I can't remember if I said that before, which is actually kind of neat.
I am going to go for this North Korean missile testing. Supposedly they're not doing this anymore, but
yeah, who knows?
You never know. You never know. You never know. So we have a listening post that we're using to gather some of that information. We also have Airborne Imagery. Piloted and unmanned aircraft can carry a variety of imagery sensors and provide unique access to targets. And we also have comet mapping. Satellites can geolocate foreign transmissions. So, as you can see, I played 3 techniques here for my challenge, which requires 3 techniques, and it's over to you.
It will go over to me. So we have this airborne imagery, and I think when those guys were flying around, they hit a little bit of bad weather.
Oh, they did?
So, you know, they weren't able to actually successfully complete the reconnaissance that they were doing. So I think we're down to 2 now, where you need 3.
Oh, my goodness. All right. Well, there's nothing I can do about bad weather. However, we actually have some. We can do some time history analysis on some. We had some satellite data actually, and we're gonna use that data instead of the.
See, and those satellites got pretty much just around that bad weather, which is pretty much all I could do this turn.
Fantastic. So that's great for me.
So you actually were able to see the North Korea missile testing.
Excellent.
That was going on.
Excellent. So I gathered that piece of information. That's 3 points for me. There we go. I have a total of 4 now.
All right.
And it's over to you.
All right. So there was some Zimbabwe unrest.
Oh yeah, I've heard about this. I think there still is.
And we need some foreign media to actually translate to see what's actually going on there, so we can really see if the unrest is true and actually kind of justified. So
interesting. That's great. Unfortunately, there was some customer bias in that translation. Essentially, the flavor text here is, we pay you to find our secrets, not to read the paper. So yeah, some customer bias on that foreign media translation. They're not going to be able to do that for you.
Okay, but that's completely fine, because those will go away, and I will.
You should play that card.
I should.
That's a funny one.
The Lovent?
The Lovent card. Okay, so
using known preferences and habits to encourage a source to divulge information. So James Bond went over there and did his James Bond thing.
James Bond thing.
And was able to coerce and persuade to find out what's actually going on with this unrest.
Absolutely. And you know what? James Bond takes today.
All right.
So that's yours.
This will go over here.
Yeah.
There's
a funny story about that card. That card was not in the original set that the CIA released. But, you know, we have all of these techniques, right? Massive, human, right? And so as I was browsing around Wikipedia, I came across the fact that essentially, informally, there's this Lovent thing, which is essentially people kind of using their positions to spy on people they're interested in. That type of thing.
They're making charisma checks.
Charisma checks. Yes, that's what it is. It's charisma checks.
People have very high charisma and are utilizing it to the best of their abilities.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's very illegal.
But possibly very enjoyable.
Yeah. All right, so that's the end of that round.
Yep. So we are tied, or 3-4.
3-4.
Yep. So it's a close game still.
Yeah.
This will come back to me.
That will come back to you.
We'll put out a couple cards.
Put out a couple cards here. Boom, boom. And we can get some more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Again, I'm going to keep the cards I have.
How many do you need?
I need 3 more, sir.
3 more. All right. So we're both back up to 7. And I think I started that round.
Yep. So I am first this time.
Go for the China Fentanyl Network. 3 points. 3 points. You can't do it? All right.
To be honest, I can't. I want to, but I can't. I probably should have discarded another card, and I didn't. So I think what we're going to do this time is...
Russian intelligence activities. Difficulty is 8, though. I mean, the difficulty is really high up there.
I can't do a 3. That's my problemo. That is my problem.
Yeah, and we don't have any 2s out on the board right now.
No, and I wish we had a 2, because I could really utilize a 2 right now. So I think what we're going to do is the weaponized UAV proliferation.
Sure.
We have some airborne electro-optical missile tracking. These are missile capabilities characterization using hyperspectral sensors.
Excellent. What do we have here?
So the range is 5 to 10, the difficulty 7, so I'm good there. It is a mass int technique.
Yeah. Well, there is nothing I can do about that.
All right.
There's no way for the universe to frustrate you.
We will score a point there.
Excellent.
And it will head over to you.
All right. What do we have?
So, and you can only attempt to obtain 1 card per round.
That is correct.
So you can't ever try to go for multiple cards, even if you have the cards.
Oh yeah.
To be able to do that, you pick a card, concentrate on it, and then that's it for that round.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah, Kimmy, thank you for letting everybody know. Say hi. Let us know you're watching. I'm trying to turn my head and look at the screen behind me to see the chat. Definitely need to figure out a better way for that. It didn't work the other day, but it's working today, of course.
I'm going to go for this China Yuan revaluation.
All right. So we need some political industry going on here.
I think we can intercept some digital communications on that one. Redirect some web traffic, that type of thing. Look into some emails, that type of thing.
So the thing outside the box has both a helper and a stop.
That's correct, because on my turn,
right,
if I'm attempting this challenge and you counter my collection technique,
right,
on my turn, I would want to think outside the box to counter your counter.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so I was wondering how that was used from a helper standpoint.
Yes,
Thank you.
Yes.
So I am going to have to let that digital communication intercept happen.
All right.
Because I am unable to attempt to thwart that.
All right.
So that was a good effort there.
Excellent.
For another point.
Excellent.
I can see how rounds of this can actually, with 2 players, actually goes fairly quick.
Sure. With 6 players, it's going to be a lot slower, and that's why
because you're probably going to get a lot of interaction. You're probably going to get a lot of countering of the counter or the counter.
Absolutely. And what people typically figure out pretty quickly is you don't want to spend all of your good counters just like on the first player.
Right.
You're going to want to hold on to some of those so that you can spread those around evenly.
Right. Because if the first player is going for a 1 and then a later player is going for 3, you'd probably be better to stop the 3 than the 1.
Definitely.
So that's where you're probably wanting to try to judge the best place to get the most bang for your buck for your counter.
Yeah. So I would say that's probably the extent of the strategy, other than figuring out on your turn which technique you're going to go for.
Right.
And your goal there is really to make sure you have a lot of technique cards that could possibly be applied to that problem.
Yeah.
Because, if I'm looking at this Russian intelligence activities, it requires 3 techniques. But if I have 4 that I could possibly play, then I could basically hold 1 in reserve in case you counter that.
Yeah.
So
I can see that.
We had a question online. What game are we playing? This is the CIA game. It's called Collection Deck.
Let me show that. We can hold the box real quick. So here is the box. Eliot actually had this printed out. He actually had this made on Game Crafters. It is the CIA Collection Deck. This was a game that the CIA actually had put out a little while ago.
Yeah, I guess it was with the Freedom of Information request that was filed. They finally released it all about 2 months ago.
Right.
they finally got all that out in the kind of open source sphere, and that's how we were able to generate this deck. So now I'm not like the original game designer or anything, right?
Oh, yeah.
This is the David Klopper over at the CIA did all the original designs for this. So we were pretty much just piggybacking off of his thoughts and his ideas.
Right.
So yeah,
it's an interesting little game. Though. I like it. All right, let's get ready for the next round here.
All right, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I'm gonna, I think, actually discard a few cards.
Yeah, I think I will as well.
We're gonna get rid of that 1,
2, 3. And how many cards do you need?
I really don't want to get rid of this one, but I'm going to.
All right.
I'm gonna need 4.
4 cards for you.
Yes.
3 cards for me. And we refill the deck.
Helps me out a little bit. That did not help me out.
All right, and I mean it's pretty even so far.
Yeah, we're close. We're
close. Let's see what I have
this
here.
is the start of your round. Squiggle Jiggles. Actually, this is pretty cool. It's very interesting. I definitely like to see this with more players. Can't fit more people up here in our little studio up here. So we're only giving you a 2-player preview, but I could definitely see having more players, the interaction at a table. If you like interaction amongst your table, this is a game that you're really not going to have any downtime in, I can tell, because you're pretty much going to be paying attention to everybody's turn, because you're going to you want somebody at the table to probably thwart everybody else's work.
Yeah.
I mean, so...
Yeah, you don't want people walking away with easy 3-pointers. You never want that.
6, 7. All right.
So I'm gonna go for this Al-Shabaab attacks in Kenya challenge.
You took the
It's
2
the only 2 on the table,
I know.
and
We keep getting 1s and 3s.
So that's my hope here. I'm actually gonna do a leadership debriefing on this. Analysts can debrief other U.S. government employees to find out unreported information.
Okay.
So we'll apply that technique, and let's also do some foreign material exploitation, the acquisition of foreign equipment or technology for intelligence purposes. Now you might ask, well, how exactly are you going to get this foreign equipment for intelligence purposes that has to do with this Al-Shabaab attacks in Kenya? That's a great question. Unfortunately, we're not playing the way that I actually have to explain everything. So we'll just leave it as it is.
So I have denial and deception. This counters a non-mass int collection technique, of which this isn't.
Yeah. So
so my icon, I got 2 icons this icon matches this.
Yep.
So that will basically stop you from that one.
Denial and deception. Interesting. Yep. Okay.
There was some denial and deception during that leadership briefing there.
That's really interesting. Well, I managed to think outside of the box to essentially get around that denial and deception.
See, and then I'm going to think outside the box as well.
Oh, my goodness. This is like, was the poison in my cup or your cup or my cup or your cup? Oh, my goodness. All right. Well, in that case, that goes. I can't do anything about that. All those go in the discard. We're left with 1. Let me see. What can I do?
Do anything else?
It looks like we actually had some panchromatic imagery of the site that the attack happened at.
Oh, wow.
Yep. Yeah, so you could potentially have a counter for human. You could potentially have a counter for GeoInt.
Competition, counter any collection technique.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there was some competition over on the foreign material exploitation.
Oh, my goodness. Well, there's nothing I can do about that. So that goes away, and I am done. I have no more cards I can play.
So then this is going to come back up here. This one will stay under here.
Absolutely. That piece of information has been successfully gathered. So now the difficulty of that particular problem.
So do you normally flip them over? Do you normally put like the eye like this so the eye is shown so you know you have one?
I suppose you could do that, yeah.
But 6 of one, half a dozen of another, I'm guessing?
Absolutely. Basically, that piece of information has already been gathered.
Yeah.
Now the difficulty of that challenge decreases by 1 for when you play.
For when I attempt it right now?
Absolutely, yeah. You could attempt this right now, and you only have to play 1.
Because there has been some enhanced interrogation going on.
Ooh, I've heard about that.
For the Al-Shabaab attacks in Kenya.
I've heard about that. This is also a card they had blanked out a number of different cards so we had to come in and improvise some stuff. So this is one of the ones that we added in. And there were some particular things that I would have loved to say on this card, but we toned it down a little bit.
Kept it PG-13?
We kept it PG-13. Let's see, what do we have? What do we have here? You may have used enhanced interrogation, but they were applying aggressive counterintelligence. They already knew that you were going to use those enhanced interrogation techniques, and the person they gave you was not, the person that you were interrogating didn't. They already knew you would grab someone. So
that's fine, because we kind of just jumped to the internet then.
It's just like, see what people are saying online, just like we're doing today.
Since but you can't really rely on people. Everything on the internet is true.
Absolutely.
We all know that.
I know that.
So that's why just jump out there and see what the hell the internet has to say.
I like it. There's nothing I can do about that. That is yours.
All right.
That is yours.
So these two cards are going to go into our discard pile over
here. That is
here.
correct.
This 2 points will come over there.
Yeah, and I think we're currently tied. Are you winning?
6-5.
6-5.
I jumped ahead by one with that.
And it's yours.
So, and that is that round, because you started that round off.
I started that round. So technically we've gone all the way around.
So there we go. We will jump that back to me. I have 2 cards in my hand. I will keep these 2.
All right.
Just take another 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And see what we get here with these.
And we'll refresh.
I like this. This is kind of cool. And I definitely think you clean this up quite a bit, because I could just imagine what this must have looked like before you actually put your touch onto this.
Yeah, it was harder to tell how many points you had. It was harder to tell which cards you could successfully play during your turn, which cards you could play on other people's turns. And so the icons in the top corner that help kind of clean that up a little bit, speed things up a little bit.
So now you did this on Game Crafters. Can anybody else go on Game Crafters and actually...
Anyone that wants this game right now. There's 2 ways you can get this game right now. So this version of the game is up on thegamecrafter.com. That is the only place you're going to be able to get it.
This version.
This version. That is correct. Come November, there was a Kickstarter that went up for like $150,000.
I think I saw that. Yes, I saw that.
$150,000 Kickstarter. I think it was run by Joseph Lubin.
I can't remember who it was, but I kind of remember seeing it.
There were 2 guys that ran a Kickstarter for this, and it was massively successful.
Right.
And they are promising to deliver in November. So there's your options. You can jump onto the Kickstarter, and have it in November, or you can hop over to Game Crafter and you could potentially get it in a couple weeks.
And my guess is, if you do the Kickstarter version, it could look and maybe play a little bit different than this one.
It is definitely going to look different.
This is definitely like an open source board game. So there could be multiple versions of this coming out here, within the next couple months, within the next year or so, and each of them are probably going to have their own little, twist on, the documents and the information that was put out there, from the CIA, from the developer of the actual game.
Absolutely.
So,
we also actually we cleaned up a print and play version as well.
Okay.
So
cool.
you could potentially go over to the Game Crafter and download the print and play version, and print out your own cards and be ready to go tonight.
Cool. Excellent.
If that's what you wanted to do.
There you go. I think having the scoring and all this stuff put together for you cleans it up, rounds out the game nicely, so it's actually somewhat playable.
Yes.
So it's not just like 3/4 of a game.
Sure.
So, all right, so what do we have here, and what am I going to try to be able to obtain here? So Snowden leaked some documents.
He did.
And you know what? I'm not going to be able to do that one.
Oh!
So let me take that back.
All right.
So I'm going to ask a question.
Absolutely.
Because I want to know if this is for a single card or for all the cards that I put down there. So I have a working group meeting. It expands a collection techniques range by 1. Do I play that with one of my information cards to increase it, or does it increase the collection?
It just increases a single card. So you would play a single card.
So it would make that 4 to 10.
I I would actually make it 2 to 10.
Oh, 2.
I'm assuming.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
I'm assuming it's 2 because it expands.
It
It could be lower and upper.
Lower. Yep. Okay. I like that. I like that.
I would make it a 2 to 10.
I like that. Okay. So I think what we're going to do is this Iran missile program. We have some commercial multispectral imagery of this missile program that is going on out there.
It's fascinating. It's really fascinating.
So, and I also, we've done a little bit of analytic outreach to tap into the insights of some U.S. academics and other private experts on this issue. So, my range is 1 to 7. I have military for both.
Military for both.
So we are good in that department.
That's fantastic. You know about that multispectral commercial imagery that you were going to use?
Yeah.
Yeah, the ground station isn't working for that.
Oh no,
sorry,
no, that's not good.
It's just not. It's not running.
That's not good.
Ground station isn't running.
That's not good, because that's a shame that got that just couldn't get started up. But luckily, there was a little bit of exploitation from documented media.
Oh, okay.
So there were some captured documents that was able to provide some nice intelligence insights into this.
Interesting.
So this program is legit. It's there. I'm telling you, it's there.
It's there.
It's there.
You definitely think so?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, about that analytic outreach you were hoping to do. As it turns out, all of the translators that were going to work on that, yeah, they were reassigned.
Sons of bitches.
They were reassigned.
Sons of bitches.
Now, however, what I'm just noticing right now, we actually have some. This analytic outreach is immune to a couple of these counters.
Not affected by linguistics.
Not affected by linguistics reassigned, and that's what this card is. So I actually can't play this card on that.
That was a good example, though, of how you not only need to pay attention to that, but pay attention to the text, which I don't know if I have been.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely going to have to read the whole card instead of just parts of the card.
Yep. Yeah, there's some of the cards that have this basically this extra bit of, they're kind of immune to some of the counters. The countering techniques. Okay, so your collection techniques stand.
All right, and that program was legit.
Absolutely.
And 2 more points come my way.
All right, so I've always heard that go big or go home. So here we go. Snowden leaked documents.
Wow, you're going for it.
We're going for it. Let's see. Gray literature, foreign open sources that are unclassified but hard to get, like school textbooks or military brochures. Maybe the Russians are making military brochures on the Snowden leaked documents.
All right.
I don't know. Maybe they are. Visible remote sensing. We're going to track his footsteps.
Now, hang on a second. The difficulty is 9, and that's a range of 4 to 8 there, sir.
Yeah. About that. The Snowden leaked documents, everyone keeps saying that it's really hard to find out about, but it's actually a really soft target.
Okay.
Which decreases the difficulty of the intelligence problem by 2.
By 2.
By 2.
Nice.
So
that
now
would be a difficulty 7.
Now it's a difficulty of 7.
Okay.
So the gray literature works for that one.
Yep.
The visible remote sensing also works.
Okay, gotcha.
And we actually also have some refugee debriefing that we're going to conduct to learn about these leaked documents. Maybe to learn if they are if they're valid, if they have, I don't know, the real material in them, or if they're just making stuff up. You never know. So
the problem with the gray literature was it was just a disinformation campaign.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, it just wasn't, the information just wasn't real.
Oh, they were just making these textbooks.
It was just, you know what? You can print anything on paper, and they were doing that.
Oh my gosh.
I mean,
oh my gosh. All right, in that case, that goes away, and I am stumped. There is nothing else I can do on this.
All right.
So the other 2 versions stand. So all of a sudden.
So does this stay there, and does it stay at 7, or does that go away and it goes back up to a 9?
The rules as they were released from the CIA were not 100% clear. I do know that this really soft target, which is a reality check, is kind of like a temporary thing. This definitely goes away. Okay. But at the same time, I feel like we did successfully collect 2 pieces of information while that really soft target was there. Yeah. Therefore, the way that I've been playing it is you keep those 2 pieces of information there and you put the card on it. So now it's way easier than it was before.
Correct. Yes, definitely. All right. And I think that would be the end of that round.
Yes.
So we're going to go back to you as first player.
Excellent.
We're going to get some more cards in our hands. I will keep what I have here and take 4 more.
2. Oh, I'm like taking your cards, and I was going to look at them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How many do you need?
I need 4, sir. Thank you.
4 for you. Man, I really thought. I guess I have another crack at Snowden over here.
Yeah, you kind of do.
All
so
right.
I gotta see what I can do to possibly prevent this.
Have
definitely gonna have to make you work for it. Maybe just a little.
What do we have? What do we have?
All right.
I think I'm gonna have to go for it. I mean, it's not gonna be pretty, but I think I'm gonna have to go for it.
All right.
Because I can't let you have it.
Yeah, that's you probably wouldn't want to.
That would be terrible.
Because the score right now is 5 to 8.
I need this 3 points.
So you need this 3-pointer to tie it back up.
All right. Here we go. Multi-region signature library.
All right.
I'm gonna play that for the Snowden leaks documents, and I'm praying at this point. I have
can only target. Problems in Eurasia, the Middle East, or Asia.
Didn't he fly to Asia? He flew to Russia, right?
You expect me to know current events?
I know he did.
This has nothing to do with the Cartoon Network, of which I am a fan of.
Yeah, this is true. This is true. It is a little bit of a game for if you enjoy watching current events and listening to current events and being up on more world news, then this is probably going to be a game that you and your friends are going to enjoy.
Definitely. We'll let this one play there. We'll let this one play. About the only thing I have to do is the player collection manager challenge.
Okay.
The player must explain how the technique would be used against the problem.
Yeah. So this is an excellent card, actually. So like I was saying, there's a couple of different ways to play. One of the ways to play is you must constantly explain every technique and how it's applied to the problem. Yeah. And if you can't successfully explain how you would apply the technique, you can't use the technique.
Yeah. Which is kind of cool because it makes it more than just I'm playing this and then I'm going to trump this or just that. It makes it a little bit more of an interactive style game besides just trump.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So the collection manager challenge, which is the player must explain how the technique wants to be used. That is for the variant of the game where you're not playing where you don't have to explain every technique.
Yeah.
You just are going to have to explain some techniques.
Yes.
And the techniques you're going to have to explain is when someone plays this collection manager challenge. It's basically a challenge of, so though you can use that satellite imagery to spy on this, or what is it, the China-Taiwan posturing?
Yeah.
Tell me exactly, how does satellite imagery help us understanding that? So at that point you have to explain the posturing has to do with you're moving boats out into the area and this type of thing, so we can detect the boats via satellite. At which point you're like, okay, that makes sense.
Right.
So as far as the multi-region signature library, what was the thing here? Historic hyperspectral imaging from various terrain features can be combined with new images to detect buried objects. We think he might have buried caches of his documents in various places, and we need to make sure that we've made sure that those caches aren't buried. Now, I think he actually turned all those caches into WikiLeaks.
I believe so.
Yeah, so in which case the collection manager challenge would just totally fall apart, and I wouldn't get it.
But all right, you got 3.
All right, I'll take it.
Back up to a tied game.
I like it. But it's over to you for the last.
And I think we forgot to put a card out.
Oh,
there should have been 5,
did. You're absolutely right.
And there should be another one.
There we go.
Okay.
Russian. What is this? Russian nuclear submarine accident. There was one. There might have been several. No, there was at least one.
All right.
So we have lots of challenges.
We got
that
a lot
3,
of these 3s
and 1 for
going
1.
on.
But I think all you need to win it is 1. But I'm gonna do my best to frustrate you.
2, 4, 6, 8. Well, I'm at 8 points right now. So I would need probably a 2 to win it.
No, we're tied up.
Oh, we're tied.
We're tied.
Yes,
so
yes.
you pull that one. You pull China-Taiwan posturing, and you win it.
All right. I think we're going to do that and play it safe because I don't know if I can actually complete the other ones with the cards I have in my hand. So, So the China-Taiwan posturing, we had a text interception. Oh, no, you know what? No, we didn't. No, we didn't.
No?
No.
No.
There was a natural virtual translation center.
Oh.
So there was an FBI-managed center created to serve the U.S. government's translation needs.
Interesting.
So and that cannot be affected by linguists reassigned.
That's really too bad because that's exactly what I was going to do to you. That's exactly what I was going to do with you.
You can't.
And I can't. That's too bad. If it didn't have that, then well, I think that's the game because you got that one.
All right,
you got that one.
So there we go. That is the collection deck CIA. That's pretty kind of cool. I like that.
Yeah, and I mean it was pretty nice of the CIA to go out of their way to create this game. Although they created it essentially as a training tool for internal use.
Okay.
Right. They created this game along with 2 other games as well. And the other games cover various different aspects.
Right.
But yeah.
Cool. It's interesting. I don't know what the game looked like because I haven't looked at those initial documents that you downloaded.
Imagine a faxed scan.
Yeah, I was going to say, I could just imagine.
Yeah, our rule set here is actually from the original documents.
Oh, really?
So this is an example here from our rule set. This is basically the rule set is just pulled straight from the PDF.
And it kind of looks like this is a fax. I'm going to put this over here and see if we can get a good shot of this. So yeah, this kind of does look like it. Looks like it was maybe like a fax at one time.
And you have markings up in the top in the top there saying when it was released. And it's like Freedom of Information Act, approved for public release, blah 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 blah, 2017.
That's crazy.
Et cetera, et cetera. So
that's cool. I like it though. I definitely love the scoring thing. The first player going back and forth. I wouldn't mind trying this with a higher player count.
Sure.
Like I said, I think I could definitely see where. I think at a higher player count, you're definitely going to have a lot of interaction at the table. And this is something where you're going to need to. You're not going to have any downtime in this game as a player, because you're definitely going to want to pay attention to everybody else's turn. So it's a highly interactive style game. It's not one where somebody just takes their turn and you're just waiting for it to come back around to you again. Yeah,
you're definitely going to keep thinking about, okay, well, who's going after those 3-pointers and how can you frustrate them when they're going after those, those big point cards. And if someone's in behind, it actually has a pretty reasonable catch-up mechanic, like Catan has the robber as a kind of catch-up mechanic. This has the same type of thing where if someone's way in the back, and they are going to attempt a 1 or 2 point challenge, maybe even a 3-point challenge, you might not even challenge them on that.
Right, yeah.
And so that's going to help them come up to speed a little bit faster and kind of get back into the game.
No, but the art on the cards I think looks great. The card stock you had this printed on, I think these cards are great. I think GameCrafter produces some nice stuff.
Absolutely.
So it's really cool. Thank you for bringing this over and showing it to us.
It's been a pleasure.
And we will be back later on this evening. I believe Kim and I are going to be doing a stream tonight around 7 p.m. I believe we are going to be playing Hero Realms. So come back for that. We will be again on all 3 channels. We will be on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube again. And I will see if I can do anything with the chat so I'm not constantly flipping my neck around. Maybe I can pull the TV out a little bit or do something so I can maybe see it as good as Eliot or Kim when they're sitting in that seat can see it as well. But until then, everybody, subscribe to us on whatever format you're watching this on. Like or subscribe to us. So if you're on Facebook, give us a like on what I'm playing now, the Facebook page. If you're on Twitch, subscribe to us on Twitch, please. If you're on YouTube, subscribe to us on YouTube. We have a lot of videos that were recently released in the last couple of weeks, especially on YouTube. We did a huge interview section at Origins, and I believe I released 24 or 25 videos.
It's a huge amount of work.
That was, it took me a lot longer to get all those videos up to YouTube than I thought it would. Now I have to email everybody and tell them they're up there, which I'm going to be working on this week. But a lot of good videos, a lot of good interviews that we did, and I really enjoyed doing that. So like, subscribe, give us a thumbs up anywhere you can, and we will be back later on tonight. Everybody, thanks for joining us. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.